It's the most festive houseplant of them all. Let's talk about Schlumbergera. What's up, fellow plant enthusiasts? My name is Dylan and this is Bane's Botanicals. Today we're going to be talking about Schlumbergera. It's a bizarre name. It sounds like some sort of nasty hamburger, Schlumberger. I'll take one of those. But it's a really cool plant. It's a very common plant around the holidays. This and Araucaria, the Norfolk Island pine, are probably the two most common Christmas houseplants. Fortunately, they can be kept alive all year long, and this one is way easier than the Norfolk Island pine. Norfolk Island pine, that's a mouthful. Araucaria is a lot easier to say. Anyway, this is, let's just go and do this. Here is the taxonomy information for Schlumbergera, and you see that we are in the family Cactaceae, so this thing is a true cactus. It's, hi Athena. Hi sweetheart. Oh, I know, you're just so precious. Why don't you lay down though? I'm busy. Lay down. No, lay down. Man, I know, it's tough, isn't it? This is a jungle cactus in the wild, but the ones that we buy in the store are pretty far removed from what wild Schlumbergera are actually like. These have been bred and cultivated for decades to be very hardy, to produce flowers more easily. So it's a cool looking cactus. If we get kind of a closer look at those leaves, how they're kind of jagged and serrated, it's a pretty neat plant. Now the flowers themselves come in several different colors. Most of the time you'll see red, white, pink, sometimes orange or kind of a peach color. Those are the only common ones. Now there are others. I believe there is purple as well. Somebody needs to come up with a blue one. Wouldn't that be cool to have like blue flowers on this thing? Blue's kind of an uncommon color in nature actually, but my kitten is crawling on a box that's on the counter. Okay, took care of that. So yeah, there are other colors that these can come in. You just don't see them commercially sold like that. You'd have to find them online. And as far as getting these to flower, it can be a little bit tricky. Basically, when it's getting close to the holidays, you want to give this thing like no light. Or maybe just like 30 minutes of light a day or something. Just so that it can be really dark. That way when you bring it into the light, probably in like late November, it's really going to thrive, like it's going to bounce back and it's going to want to bloom like crazy. You really want to deprive it of water too. Basically, you're stressing the plant out on purpose so that when you actually start taking care of it again, it rewards you with a whole bunch of beautiful flowers. You don't have to do that, and sometimes it will flower by itself, but normally it won't be as lush looking. Like the one time that I didn't do anything like that, the flowers were really just limited to like the bottom. So it's good to kind of shock it into flowering. Now when they're sold in stores, they've been given like hormones and well, not chemicals, but like hormones and fertilizers and things to get them to flower. What else about Schlumbergera? These things live a really long time. Like I know people that have had these for over 30 years. They've become generational plants. They're pretty easy to propagate. You can just propagate by division, just take this thing and divide it up, or you can propagate by a little cutting and just kind of let it callus off a little bit and then put it in soil, start growing it. It's so easy. I mean, these plants are really kind of underrated, but they're also kind of overrated around the holidays because you just see them so much. One other thing before we get into the care, this is not to be confused with the Easter cactus, which is also in Cactaceae, but it's a different genus altogether. Although some people say that it, should be in Schlumbergera. The Easter cactus I have seen typically called either Hatoria or Ripsalidopsis. So it's one that's kind of in flux right now, last I heard. But this is Schlumbergera for sure. It's like you have so much spit when you're saying that, Schlumbergera. Anyway, as far as care goes, bright and direct light. You really don't want direct sun on these guys, but they do prefer brighter light just because it is a cactus. Watering, you can let them dry out. If you let them dry out too much, you'll start to notice the leaves get a little bit pruny. Well, are these technically leaves, or would they be stems? Doesn't matter. They'll start to get kind of wrinkled and pruny. Try not to let it get to that point. Just let this thing dry out maybe for like a week and give it some water. Soak it. But it should be allowed to dry out. And then soil, I just have this in a regular cactus soil. So it's got a little bit of added perlite and sand for drainage. And it's in a terracotta pot just so that I don't have to worry about overwatering it. You really don't want to overwater these guys because they will rot, just like a cactus would. What am I missing? Oh, humidity. As far as humidity goes, they don't mind humidity because it is a jungle cactus, but they really don't need humidity at all. You can leave this thing in a nice dry area and it'll do just fine. And fertilizing, I fertilize it regularly, just twice a month during the growing season. And then, of course, you have to kind of take into consideration to not fertilize it at all, starting in like probably September. Really start depriving it and getting it ready for its kind of dormant period. And then after it blooms in the holidays, the flowers will fall off, and then you can kind of just let it go dormant again until spring. There are other people that may have different care tips for it, but that's just what's worked for me. Feel free to cross-reference me with other people because everybody has a different way to care for Schlumbergera, just like chili recipes, I guess. But I think that's all I have about Schlumbergera. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. I don't think so. I think we covered it all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support and for liking and subscribing and everything. And most importantly, for interacting with me and giving me comments and everything. I love it. Love talking to you guys. I try to set aside probably 30 minutes every couple of days just to respond to comments, just so that I can keep, the communication with each other going. But yeah, until the next video, I will see you guys very soon. Thank you.